Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Gonna read through the full article here. There's a link in the description. I'll let you know. It's political. You may not agree with my political point of view, yet I feel that my political point of view is going to seep through. If you do disagree, please don't take too much offense. But if you do agree, then perhaps check out my political channel, White CIS Male. There should be a little card or such to take you to that if you're into this kind of thing. But essentially the headline tells us that a Seattle woman has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for torching police cars during the BLM riots, which is really weird, frankly, because as far as I recall, the mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, told the entire world that there weren't any BLM riots, there were only BLM peaceful protests. So I am shocked and stunned to find information to the contrary. It's almost as if the mainstream media had lied to everybody. A Seattle woman has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for torching police vehicles during a Black Lives Matter riot in 2020. Of course, this is from the Gateway Pundit. I'm sure they're likely white supremacists for using the term riot instead of peaceful protests. Margaret Eileen Shannon, 26 years of age, pleaded guilty to arson for using aerosol cans as a blowtorch to light the cars on fire. She also broke windows, looted stores, and smashed police equipment. Quite the angry young lady. Much of Shannon's destruction was captured on video. How brazen, almost as if she thought she could get away with it. And here's a little quote. According to the plea agreement, Shannon appears in videos from the protest in downtown Seattle, using fire and aerosol cans to light 5 Seattle Police Department vehicles on fire. That's right. She lit one on fire, and then she thought to herself, oh, that was quite fun. Let me do that 4 more times. She lit 5 vehicles on fire, police vehicles. She is also shown entering various stores and removing items of clothing, otherwise known as theft. She admits smashing the window at the Verizon store and entering a sandwich stop and destroying the electronic cash register, which I support because obviously that's capitalism and that's inherently systemically racist or something like that. Investigators identified Shannon based on her clothing, tattoos, and information from her various social media accounts. Yes, that's what these people do. They commit crimes and then they post videos and pictures and tweets and such on their various social media platforms of them committing the crimes. Hey, police officers, were you looking for someone that burnt down 5 of your vehicles? Well, please don't arrest me, even though here's some videos of me doing it. Shannon was arrested in June 2020. Law enforcement executed a search warrant at a home in Tacoma and seized clothing and accessories that appear in some of the videos from the arsons. Under the terms of the plea agreement, Shannon is responsible for restitution. So, okay, I don't know how many how much 5 police vehicles would cost, but I would guess in the vicinity of $300,000-$400,000 altogether, plus damage to the stores, plus the various theft. I'm thinking that you might be looking up to around $500,000 worth of damage that she's caused, damage and theft. And I'm just thinking to myself, if she's got $500,000 to spare in order to be able to pay the restitution, or if that's just a complete waste of time. That's what I'm wondering. During her sentencing, the judge criticized Shannon for making the Black Lives Matter movement look bad, saying she did tremendous damage to Black Lives Matter in Seattle. Yes, of course, because Black Lives Matter has such a wonderful reputation. Of course, the leader, the founder of Black Lives Matter, she's so well esteemed that she was able to afford, what was it, about half a dozen to a dozen properties across the Hollywood Hills, something like that. I might have some of the details wrong there, but embezzlement springs to mind. The rights to protest, gather, and call out injustices is one of the dearest and most important rights that we enjoy in the United States, said U.S. Attorney Nick Brown. Indeed, our democracy depends on both exercising and protecting these rights. But Miss Shannon's conduct was itself an attack on democracy. Well, you know what? I mean, I'm not going to overly disagree with those points there. The right to protest, I'm not a big fan of protests, but I do feel that there are points in time where protests are required, and I guess that's subjective. I've got my opinion, you'll have your opinion as to when it's appropriate to protest. So yeah, we should have the rights to do that, but in a certain manner. Setting fire to police vehicles, smashing shops, looting. These are not. I mean, it's just not protesting, is it? I mean, that's not protesting. That's being violent. That's looting. That's vandalizing and whatever else, causing grand theft damage or whatever the correct term is. Can't you just walk down the street holding a placard or something? Wear a pussy hat. That ought to do it. Okay, so apparently Shannon used the cover of lawful protest to carry out dangerous and destructive acts, risking the safety of everyone around her and undermining the important messages voiced by others. Oh no, we must protect the important messages. I mean, I guarantee this guy who's saying this, Brown, what's his name? US Attorney Nick Brown, I guarantee, or rather I strongly suspect, that despite him saying that her actions were undermining the important messages voiced by others, I guarantee he is anti-free speech. I guarantee he's not a free speech absolutist. Guarantee. I don't know anything about this Nick Brown guy, other than he's a US attorney, but I guarantee he does not fully support freedom of speech. So what's my point there? My point is he's almost certainly a hypocrite in that regard. The prosecution had argued that Shannon put everyone in danger as one of the cars could have exploded. Well, prosecution, I would presume that 5 of the cars could have exploded. She set 5 cars on fire. Any one of them or all of them could have exploded, I would have thought, and indeed neighbouring vehicles. I mean, you're certainly the prosecution's right to make the point that she put people in danger. She did. I think it's common sense. I think we all have an instinctive feeling that it's probably not that wise to set vehicles that are projected through petroleum or diesel or other forms of gas, even EVs. It's probably best not to set them on fire, so that they don't explode and kill people. It's probably best not to do that. That would be my instinct in any case. So there we go. There's this article here. This fucking moron has thankfully been sentenced to prison 5 years. Is that enough? Is that enough? Well, no, it isn't. I mean, no, it isn't. We'll just go with no, it isn't. It should be more than that. By the way, I guarantee she'll get out with parole. I've got no idea. That's a guess on my part. The article doesn't mention the availability of parole. But we know how these things go. Number one, she's female. She's a vagina possessor. So we know that they get a different treatment from men. We pretend that it's a man's world. We pretend that sexism is anti-women, but the reality is very much different to that. We know that women get a pass in such matters. Also, we know that she's a supposed BLM, Black Lives Matter supporter, protester, rioter. We know that, and because of that, she's going to get the virtual signaling points, the brownie points, which will also lessen her sentence. So, I guarantee if you were a bloke and you had a different political message, God forbid, let's say the worst. Let's say you supported Russia. Oh my God, you supported Russia. You felt that NATO shouldn't increasingly infringe on the borders of Russia and have missile silos erected on neighboring countries pointed at Russia. If you were in support of Russia's recent actions in any way, shape or form, and you went around burning down 5 or so police vehicles, I guarantee you'd be sentenced to more than 5 years in prison. That would be my thought. So my advice is not to do that.